Hello, welcome to my channel. I've lost 180 pounds with keto, carnivore, and counting calories. Thank you for watching. Over the years, I have gotten some beef suet. There's some different people who have cattle in my area, and I've contacted them, and when they've taken one to get slaughtered, I've asked if I could have some of the suet. And so that's some of the tallow that I've made. Tallow. That's some lard I've made. That's just broth, and a couple other tallows. And this, I had bought some lard and didn't use it all, but I wanted to preserve it so it didn't go bad. So I actually melted it down and put it into jars. So the reason for this is I'm going to show you how I do my own tallow. I've done this before, but this is like the last little bit of beef suet that I have, and I feel like I want to go on and just get rid of it. Not get rid of it, but use it up so that way it's not sitting in my freezer going, getting bad. Getting freezer burn, that's the word I'm looking for. So this is the last of the beef suet that I have. Whenever I got it, I went through and just chopped it up into smaller sizes. There's some people who will use their own, like if they get a steak or meat of any kind, they cut off that fat, and that's how they make their tallow. I personally prefer to use suet, and so I just like how it turns out. So anyway, I know I've got ghee in the refrigerator right now, but this is how I do it. Some people grind it up. Some people cut it up into small bite-sized pieces. Look, ain't nobody got time for all that. I tried in the past using my food processor. All it does is gum it up and make a mess. I ain't got time for some big mess. No, thank you. So what I did do is when I had it frozen, you know me, I took out my knife and hammer and I hammered it and pulled it and hammered it and pulled it. And so now it's into about this size chunks. You can see the size of the chunks. Some of them are this size, some of them are this size. It's just a variety. You do, however, you do your research and figure out the way that you want to do them. But this is how I do it, and it works for me. I just put it on low and I let it run. And what time is it? It's about 2. So it might even be morning before this is done. It's 2 in the afternoon, so I'll check back with y'all. But I got it on low. So, okay, see you in a little while. I am such a ninny. A while ago, so I put some chicken in here, and I was going to pull it out. My hands were gross, and I wanted to pull it out and move it to the sink. I went like this. So, look, I have matching. Hang on, let's see if you can see it. Where is it? Right there. I have matching burn marks there. And burn flab it. Hang on, let's see if I can do it this way. Yeah, you can see my matching burn marks there and there. I just tried to grab it by the sides. I couldn't remember it was on. So I just went zoop and was lifting it up. Big mistake. Anyway, so this is some frozen chicken breast. I wanted to pull it out, and I am going to go on and season it. I don't usually season my stuff when I crock pot it, but I'm going to today. This is not going to be dog broth. Something I've seen Chef Jean-Pierre use is tarragon when he does stuff with chicken. So I'm going to put some tarragon in here. This is not going to be any kind of fancy bone broth or anything, but I'm going to put a little bit of white ground pepper. So this is how I would season something if I didn't have to worry about the dogs getting it. And not the dogs can't have salt and pepper, but as much as you need to, and then some black pepper, as much as you need for chicken. Yeah, you need seasonings for chicken. So there's that. If I'm going to zhuzh this up, I'm going to zhuzh it up the way I want it. Some Creole seasoning. Some salt. Man, my hands hurt, or my arms hurt. Definitely salt. Some garlic powder and onion powder. I need to put the onion powder on my shopping list. Just finished that off. I'll set it over here to remind myself. And some garlic powder. There we go. What else? Anything else look good? Rosemary. Nah. Chives thyme. Cilantro. And a little bit of oregano just for fun. I don't know what this chicken's going to be used for. It's just going to be used. And put a little bit of crushed rosemary. It's just going to be used for whatever I use it for. If the dogs aren't getting any, I'm going to put in, I'll finish off these minced onions. And lastly, let's put in some of this guacamole and more that Suet introduced me to. We're going to put that just all in there. Now, we got tons of seasoning. Now, I do want to run some water in it. Not a ton because I'm not making dog broth. What I will do is I will save the broth and I'll label it like no dog chicken broth or something like that, so that way I know, man, those hurt. So that way I know it's my broth and not for them. Plus, howdy, that sure is raised up right there. I don't know if you can see it. See how it's raised up? Mercy me. That was not a wise decision. I'm going to whine about that for the rest of this video probably. But all right, I'm going to put this on, I'm going to put on high. Ziggy, crock pot timer, 1.5 hours.
I don't know that one.
Ziggy, crock pot timer, 1 hour.
Crock pot timer, 1 hour, starting now.
I'll come back in an hour and check on it. This is still going okay. I think it's been about an hour, a little over an hour. And this is how the tallow is looking. There's nothing down in the bottom. Some people put water in there and then try to separate it later. I don't do that. I just let it do its thing. So, all right. We got both these going. Hey, so I did come in and flip it. It's only been about 10 minutes. But something else I wanted to add. I was sitting there thinking, man, I'm talking to Judy, the one who sent me my lovely canister thing. And she is at a camping, and she's talking about, I think maybe they're going to use their Blackstone. But I thought, you know what? I have some liquid smoke in my refrigerator. So I am going to put a little liquid smoke on this chicken, since I don't have to worry about it, affecting the dogs. So yeah, I flipped over the stuff and added a little bit more seasoning, and now we've got some liquid smoke in there. Man, this is going to taste amazing. I wish I could stick my finger in the water and see how it tastes, but I know it's chicken, so all right. Guess who's getting him a drink? Mr. Camel himself. It's feeding time. Bye. Here's where we're at. Made a lot of water. I really think, and I think I've said this before, but I think that they inject chicken with saline, which we know they do inject some saline, but I know they do it so they can make it look plumper whenever we buy them, so it makes us feel like, oh boy, look how much chicken we're getting. When, how much, I did that experiment a while back. I wonder what I saved that under whenever I compared all the different meats. That's not going to work. Terry. Listen, I got a little PTSD from getting burned a while ago, so I'm a little paranoid about just jumping in and grabbing things. So, let's get off there, fella. But yeah, so I put in the the Bluetooth meat thermometer. I can't remember if I said that or not, but I'm saying it now. And I put that in there, and it's really kind of handy because it'll tell you how things are. And I just want to see what it looks like in the middle of it. And that looks good. Yep. Now don't ask me what I'm gonna do with it. I'm gonna cup another one. Yeah, that looks good. Hang on, let me get you closer. Look at that. That looks pretty, pretty, pretty. And it is about 7:20. I am going to turn this off. I'm very, very gun shy now about getting burned. It's getting better, but there's still a red mark, and it's actually welted. This one, where the heck is it? All the way underneath, Terry. Here, let's see about going right there. It's hard to see. Anyway, this one, it's welted as I run my hand across. I'm gonna be whining about that till tomorrow, probably. Yeah. I'm going to pull this chicken out and put it into here, and I'll get back with you. So, I've got part of it I'm just taking a knife and, well, not that one anymore. I was taking a serving fork and a knife, and I've just been kind of cutting them up. It's a little less done than I prefer. Or is optimal. But you know me, I microwave everything. It gets frozen in the microwave. So in the meantime, let's taste it and see what we think. I don't want a big old honking bite. I just want a little bite. Let's try this one. Yeah. Needs more salt. That's a lot of good flavor. That's good flavor. Man. This is a good variety. It needs more salt. Please remember, if you're keto and you're clean keto, you have to salt your food because your food doesn't come with salt. All right, maybe the chicken did. I don't know, but it sure don't taste like it. So when you're cooking whole foods, remember, you do have to add salt. Hang on, I'm grabbing a glove. So yeah, you will have to salt your food more than what you might have done before. I want to mix it up because I put that salt on there, and then I want to see if it's enough. Because I'll have to kind of break this down in 2 different or 3 different, however many sections, because there's still a lot left in the... This was 2 big family packs of chicken breasts. Let's see. Nope. There we go. Tomorrow's Sunday. What are y'all doing for Sunday? I know my mama is, or by the time you're seeing this, what did you do on Sunday? I know my mama is out of town at my sister's house, but you're not seeing this till she's back, so it's okay for me to say that. But anyway, so she went to visit my sister in Jefferson City. Yes, that's what it needed. Now, I'm going to put this in Ziploc bags, except I need my scale here. You know I got to have my watch out, puppy dog. All right, let me zero it out. I think I did 7 ounces the last time. Wait a minute. All right. 0, let's go with ounces. Ooh, that's 11. 9. All right. There's 7. So I'm going to break these down into, what I like to do when I do this is I like to open up a whole bunch of Ziploc bags first. So then that way I'm not having to work so hard with my glove open. And I got somebody down here at my feet who's trying to be ready in case anything falls, and they think something did fall and they're all over it. But they're not right. Nothing fell. Ha ha ha. Anyway, so my weekend I did, I think the other one probably has already posted. I did, gosh, it was just today. What did I do for today? I did electrolytes, and I did some bacon, and I can't remember. I thought I did something else, but I don't remember what it was. Hang on, let me slide things over here. Alright, let's try this again. Alright, so now this chicken, when I was a kid, my mom would, whenever we would go on a vacation, so I told you all about our vacations, that our vacations was, we just hopped in the camper. I found a picture online. I'm going to try to put in a picture of this camper so y'all can see it. This is exactly how our camper looked, except there's a little piece in the front that you would step on. But all this folded up nice and neatly, and that's how our camper looked. But Mom would cook some chickens. Oh, somebody got that one. Oh, I can't give one a bite and not the other. If I'm going to kill one, I might as well kill them all. I don't mean that. Here goes sis. Here. I don't mean it that way. I just mean that, there was some onion seasoning in there. Sorry, that really came out wrong. I don't mean I'm trying to kill my babies. But anyway, but before we left for vacation, Mom, turkey. I seem to remember that she would do turkeys. Mom, if you're watching this, was it turkeys you did? I know you did burgers and ground beef too. So she took burgers and ground beef on our, she had those prepped and ready to go, but I want to say she did burgers too. Or turkey too. I just don't remember if it was turkey or chicken. So these are coming out in one big hunk. So let me go on and slide this down. I got one big old chickeny mess up here. This is what I did with the first one. I just kind of sliced it a little bit. And then cut that slice in half and that one in half. Didn't really, and I know people use the mixer. I see people doing that to shred up their chicken. That's pretty cool too. But I have the worst steak knives. Oh my gosh. And whenever I try to sharpen them on my dealie, they're the notched kind, so they don't sharpen very well. So anyway, I have some pretty bad steak knives. I think next time I'm at Mom's, I might hijack hers. Hey Judy. Hey Judy, Mom, how you doing? You do not miss the knives that were in your drawer. She'll never know. God love her, she don't ever eat at home, but she don't ever cook at home, so I don't know if she ever uses her steak knives. Ooh, tomorrow might be a good day to go swipe them while she's at my sister's house. That's how I got my cast iron. A lot of it, the stuff that was, in the family. She was out of town. That's what happens when you got a Terry for a daughter and you go out of town. You never know what you're going to come home and find missing. But thankfully, she never used them. So, because, she doesn't cook much. She can. That's not the issue. She can cook. She was a good cook. But she's just at a stage in her life where she goes out with her buddies a lot, and she is the type that will order something, and then when she orders, she'll tell the waitress to go ahead and bring a take-home box, and when the lady does, Mom immediately cuts her meat in half, and usually, like if it's a baked potato, she'll cut that in half, and so that's all bagged up or boxed up and ready for her to take home. So that's Mom's method. That's how she keeps her girlish figure. Now, you know, I just put all that salt on there a while ago. I'm going to have to do that to this one, too. Hang on, my nose is itching. Somebody's happy down there got one. Now, just because he got one, you're not getting one this time. Sorry, pal. Sorry, Bubby. Sorry. That ain't happening this time. Yeah, that's good. Alright. You're seeing how I'm doing it. I'm cutting it up, grabbing it, and putting it in bags and weighing them out. So, I will show you how many we have when it's done. Okay, so this is what the Bluetooth meat thermometer looks like. It's the meter. I got this because watching Laura Spath, she had it. Pretty cool. So I've got everything out. Right now I'm going to clean up all the meat part and wipe things down. And then we'll look at the broth and see what we got at that stage. But I just kind of got them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So hold on. Okay, so here's the chicken, and I've got 2 of these just in case they don't fit. I put chicken breast 9 ounces because 9 ounces is how much they ended up being, which according to my thing is 480 calories, something like that. Wait a minute, 1, 3. So I'll put 6 in one and 6 in another. Then these can go in my freezer, and I will pull them out. Like I said, I still have some more of the rotisserie chickens that I got I don't know, it's probably a couple months ago. But I still have some of those left also. But anyway, so this is how these are going to roll. They're just going to be housed in here. And then whenever I want to pull chicken out, because I still have some things that y'all got on me on my to make list, like one of you said Greek chicken gyros over riced chicken. Somebody said, listen, I got it all down on my to-do list. I just don't have it in front of me because it's on my phone and y'all are on my phone. So I'm going to put these away and I'll get back with you. So before I do anything, I have to wipe everything down here because chicken was a splattering and splashing as I was doing stuff with it. And earlier, I actually went and I took that same knife and fork, and that's why it was dirty in the first place. I took it and I cut up the fat, the suet. I cut that up a little bit, so that way, you know, I'll show you why in a few minutes. But anyway, but I went on Amazon last week and I got some more of the quart size jars. The ones I have were like Mom's and her mom's and their moms, and you know, so they were like really old. And unfortunately what's happened is as I've put hot things in them, you know, they're just so old that they are starting to break and shatter. So that's so I have to replace them. So I bought Walmart. Let me tell you, I said Amazon, but don't go on Amazon. I did the Walmart thing, and they were cheaper at Walmart than on Amazon. So if you need some big old quart-sized jars, don't go to Amazon. Hang on, be right back. So that's the jars I got for real, check a Walmart before you go to Amazon, because I was about to pay like almost twice as much. And they're pretty too. These are the ball ones. They ball mason jars. They got a pretty little fruit picture. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got like a pear and an apple, a pear, an apple, and an orange, and grapes and cherries. Anyway, so I do not can, but we know I use these for everything under the sun. I'm gonna save this chicken broth. It's not bone broth or anything, but it's still chicken broth. It's got that good chicken and the flavors in it. Let me taste it. Just, yep. And I'm not going to add salt to that, more salt, because I don't always want a lot of salt in my broth, because you don't necessarily, you know, sometimes you have things how they are and you don't necessarily want it to be super salty. So sometimes you just want your broth to be a side. Now listen, here's what I found out by putting these things in the freezer. I have a bad habit of overfilling them. So whenever they freeze up, that's probably why the jar's busted. But some of them, as soon as I put the liquid in, they busted. But anyway, so I'm making sure I do not fill it all the way to the top, so that way I can put it in the freezer. And I probably should have went downstairs and got a little pint jar, but you know, that requires thinking and planning ahead, and yeah, that's never been my strong suit. But I tell you what I am going to do when I'm done with this. I'm going to put some of that other broth into here and dilute them both just a little bit till they're both about the same. Hang on. There we go. There's going to be chicken chunks and all down there. So I am going to put some of this into here. Let's see. A little more. That's good. Now I'm going to add some water to it till it's still below that line. Okay, and your turn. Now, so when I put these in the freezer, I do not close the lid all the way. I put them somewhere where I can see them. I just kind of set the lid on there lightly, because it does expand in the freezer. So I just kind of do a little, like barely a twist. So now I'm going to set these on my freezer. I said refrigerator, I meant freezer. I'm going to put these in my No, I got to label them, Terry. Oh my goodness. Now where'd my marker go? I am all kinds of discombobulated. Surely I didn't put it in there. Sure enough, I done did. Okay, so I'll put, when I do chicken, I say CHX. And I'll put no dog. CHX, no dog. So that lets me know that there's onions or mushrooms or something in there, that I'm not using it for the dogs on their food. So I label stuff like that. There's that one and that one. Now, like I said, I'm going to set these in my freezer. I'll be right back. I'm going to write a sign here. Close chicken broth in freezer. So in the morning, I'll set this over here by my skillet. So in the morning, I got my skillet here. Oh, hey, there's a thing. Got my skillet here, and I'll put this, oh heck, I'll just set it right in there. And in the morning, I will grab that, and I will know what to do with it. So I will Helps if I show you. I'll just set it right there. In the morning, I'll close the broth a lot tighter. So let's go check on the tallow. So we're gonna call this a full round of my of the tallow. So I'm using this scooper to pull it out and put it into this sieve. You want there to be as few chunks in it as possible. Some people use cheesecloth and get all serious about it. Well, not me. I ain't got that kind of time. Ain't nobody got that kind of time. Well, some people do evidently, but not this girl. Not this girl. Not this girl. There can be a few little something or others down. It's just fat. So it's not like it's, it's the same thing, only not in the liquid form. And I store mine in the freezer. So I do understand this is shelf stable. So before somebody comments and says, you can store that on the shelf. Yes, I know that. I can store my ghee and my butter and my tallow, but I don't, because I have a logical reason, at least it's logical in my head. I don't, because I don't cook enough. And so by keeping all these in the freezer, and then pull it whenever I pull one out at a time. So then when I use it, I keep it in the refrigerator. And that way, when hang on, I don't want to dirty up something else. So that way, by putting it in the refrigerator, it lasts even longer. Because, I'm not, it's funny. I talk like I'm a tightwad, and I am absolutely not a tightwad. I buy the dumbest stuff. I mean, y'all see some of the dumb. I've got 4 dogs, for heaven's sakes. I'm not a tightwad. But there are just some things I'd rather not spend money on if I don't have to. And all this tallow, like I said, all the tallow and all this suet was free. So, heck yeah, I'm going to use it. Alright. We're going to do the same thing, except I'm going to get hot pads and tilt this up and see how much we get in here. It's been on low, same as the other one. Let's just see what we get here. I'm going to try this. Please don't spill. Please don't spill. Please don't spill. Hot dog. Alright. No spillage. So I am going to let this go another time. I usually let it run twice. So now I'll put all that fat back in there. And I'm just going to leave the utensils in my sink. And we're going to let this run overnight. And we're going to see if we get just a little more. Maybe we'll get a little pint jar. Let's throw this away. Okay. So we'll keep that on low. And we just put that in here. Now this is tallow. So tallow, as we just said, can sit out. So this, I'm just going to just set that on there and let it sit right back here. So in the morning, this will be nice, pretty, and white. And I'll show you that process. So, all right. Let's see. That'll be Sunday morning. So I'll let you know where we're at on Sunday with this stuff. Okay, bye for the moment. Quick question. For those of you who have jeans that have like a flap, what do you do to hold these down? Every time I wash them, the little flap starts sticking out. I'm trying this time. These are some Kelly clamps from when I worked in the hospital. But I don't know what else to do. How do you get those like flaps on your shirts and pants to stay down? Don't you dare tell me to iron, because that ain't going to happen. Anyway, what do you do? Hey, I'm actually going to put on keep warm. I was thinking about it. So that way it's low, since it's going to be overnight. You know, I did it at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to be a good 10, 11 hours. So I'm putting it on keep warm to see how that is. So, okay, just thought I'd tell you that part. It is 9:41 at nighttime. It's past my bedtime. I'm going to turn into a pumpkin. Looking for something to... Here. So this is what it's doing with it on the keep warm. So it's doing enough that it's still going. So I'm glad I put it on keep warm because it's enough that it is doing something, but it's not so much that it's necessarily burning. So last time I did it, it got real dark. So we'll see how it looks in the morning. Some people, after they're done, they pull out these pieces and then they fry them in a skillet. And, you know, it's kind of like, instead of pork crackling, it's kind of like beef crackling. Some people put it in the air fryer. Anyway, maybe we can see what happens with that tomorrow. But it is time for me to go to bed. The dogs are on duty. Bye. Good morning. I've got our chicken broth. I pulled it out of the freezer. I'm screwing down the lids tight now because it's solid. You can see the bits of chicken at the bottom, and then there's the broth. Now, this really then wouldn't be considered chicken broth. I don't know what you call it, but with that meat in the bottom. In theory, you should strain your chicken broth, but meh, it's homemade. It's mine. I'll be using it. I won't care. I don't mind the flavor of chicken in something. So, but there we go. It's frozen solid. So now I can screw the lids on tight. I'm going to put those back in the freezer and I'll be right back. Here is our broth. Smooth, clean. There's no fat speckles in it, no beef speckles in it. And it looks really, really good. So this one is ready to be put in my freezer. I think you can make candles and all kinds of stuff with tallow. So seriously, if you have a local farmer, a local slaughterhouse, talk to the slaughterhouse because they can get you connected with the farmer. And you can get your own suet or leaf lard. And, you know, a lot of, like I said, a lot of farmers, they've been doing it so long, they don't want more fat, more leaf lard. So a lot of them are very happy to, you know, let you have it. Now for this go around, which I didn't on the last one, but I am going to do it this time, I'm going to use cheesecloth. And so I'm going to set this on here and put this in. And I'll tell you why. Just a second. I'm going to, when I get this, when this all runs through, I'm going to squeeze it a little bit and squeeze out the excess liquid from it. And I would want as little going through as possible. So, I mean, I know some of the fat will go through, but I want as little of the fat to go through the dealie as possible. And for this one, I'm going to have to grab one of a little pint jar over there. I didn't buy any. I have plenty of those that they haven't broken. So now what I really should do is hold this over something else and pour it in. I still might do it. I'm going to look and see if I can get the majority of it out. I'm not going to cry about it. A few little pieces. Yeah, I'm satisfied with that. I don't know if you can see in here. Probably not. I'll let you see it in a second when I'm done. There's a few little minor crumbs down in there, but not anything that I'm going to freak out about because, again, I freeze it. If I did this and left it out at room temperature, I'd probably be like, oh, I can't do that. But keeping it on warm did a good job. First, I'm going to kind of press it with this. See if I can press out as much of the fat as possible. Now, we are going to try, take you and you. I'm going to try squeeze, ow. Try to squeeze out what I can. It's messy business, y'all. It's messy business. Whoop. Alright, I got out what I could. I'm going to wash my hands. You want to remember you are working with oil, with fat, so you definitely want to use hot water on your hands. You don't want to be dumping stuff down the drain. I know some people do that. I used to do that. And then I had to have Roto-Rooter. They've had to be out to my house twice in the past, well, however long I've been doing this. They've been out here twice in the past 4 years because of grease buildup. So you do what you want to do, but I've learned the hard way financially that you don't want to be just dumping. I was literally dumping like that leftover grease whenever I make my meat. I was dumping that down the drain. So like I said, you know your pipes better than I do, but I learned the hard way. So let me get a jar so we can pour this tallow in it, and then I'll show you what we'll do with the suet, the leftover suet. So with this leftover, oh shoot, fire. Well, that defeated the purpose. Grr, Terry. Terry. All right, now. What we're going to do is I'm going to put this down in here. And I'm going to shake it out of this cheesecloth. I don't know why I wash my hands and stick my hand right back down in the middle of this grease. Or this fatty oil, but you know, we do what we do sometimes and we don't know why we do it. It seemed like a good idea. Although really I can rub this in. There's people that make hand lotion out of this. Now, let's get these. This one does have, let's see if I can get it up close. You can see there's pieces down in this. But again, I keep it in my freezer and not out on my shelf. So I'm not looking for pure, you know, as pure as I would be, you know, as if I was going to have this out on my shelf. So let's see if I can do this. Y'all will not be able to see this, I don't think. My arm might be in the way, but pour it all in. Hey, all right, that's good. Hang on to me. So, there we go. We definitely have the impurities of not being poured through the cheesecloth, and like I said, I'm okay with that. It's going in my freezer. I'm not going to tighten this. I'm just going to let it sit out, and I'm going to keep this in my fridge for a little bit. And for breakfast, like maybe actually I could put it in the freezer, but anyway, for now I'm going to put some of it in the fridge. You can fry this up, and today's Sunday. So when you see my Sunday video, you're going to see that I have used some of this because I'm going to fry some of this up this morning and we'll see how it goes. Okay, bye. Before I say goodbye, you can see the difference in color in freshly rendered tallow and old tallow. So like I said, this one has, I got the lid on, it's fine. This one, the lid is just on slightly, so if I knock it over, it'll save a little something. So I'll push them both back in the back. And when it's done, I'll put it in the freezer. But this is the before and this is the after. So, okay, now I'm done. Have a good day. Bye. And here's my matching burn marks today. That's where I grabbed the crock pot. Anyway, it's getting better. It's not all red around it, but this one might leave a mark. We'll see. But anyway, yeah. So there they are. That's my matching burn marks. Okay, now video's done. Bye.